Hi, it's Ryan Anderson here. In this video, I wanted to share with you 10 mistakes that businesses make. Now, let me just be clear what I'm saying and what I'm not saying. I'm not saying every business makes these mistakes. You might not make any of them. But whether this is, whether you are an individual who wants to start a business, or you've recently started up a business, or you run a business of any particular size, these are mistakes that are often made, and sometimes I guess you don't know they're being made because you might not be doing anything about them. Although that said, sometimes mistakes are known, but it's almost too hard to turn the ship around, and so businesses continue doing these things even if it's not really helpful for them. So let's look at these one by one, and if there's anything that maybe applies to you and your business, then you can give some thought as to what you might be able to do to start making adjustments. Okay, so the first mistake is they don't articulate their vision. Okay, a business that doesn't articulate its vision is not making it clear to people what they're actually about. Now, it's, saying we sell computers is not a vision. Your vision is not just to make money. And if it is, I would challenge you to dig a little deeper, because that's not really a vision. So, if you know Simon Sinek's book, Start With Why, you'll know the sort of philosophy behind knowing what your why is. So rather than, we want to be the industry leaders in X, it's more about why do you want to be the industry leaders? What is it? And you might find that what it is, say you are the person who started your business. You had an experience once, perhaps you were in a queue, it took too long. You thought, why should people have to, wait like this for so long? And you came up with some kind of a way of making things more efficient. That would be your why, because you experienced something and you want to help other people not experience that thing. So that's just one example, but a vision is more about, the reason you get out of bed every morning and the reason you're passionate about your business. Okay, so businesses that don't articulate their vision make a mistake, because they're not making it clear to people why we should even do business with you. Why do I care that you sell that product or service? But if you articulate your vision, you'll be bringing people on board, as well as inside the business, you'll be able to have staff and colleagues connect with each other and with you as a leader, because they understand the vision. Okay, so vision is huge. That's mistake number one, is not articulating it. Okay, mistake number two is they don't listen. Okay, a business that doesn't listen is closing itself off to not only opportunities, but all kinds of growth and improvement. So if you know that movie A Field of Dreams, starring Kevin Costner, there's the line in the movie that's the whole sort of like the driver for the movie is, if you build it, they will come. But the thing is, a big problem today in business, and I suppose it's been since forever, is that people will often build something that they want to build. This is something that I want to do, so I'm going to build it, and then I'll find people who want to buy it. So you end up building, whether it's some kind of software or a gadget, and you end up realizing that you didn't do your research because you didn't do any beta testing or anything, and so you've got a software that has perhaps functionality that people don't really care about. So you'll often find that what little startups tend to do is they'll release something, and whether they get like they sell it to get to provide lifetime licensing or something to a few thousand people or whatever it is, they get that cash injection and they get that feedback within days and weeks, and they start to improve their product. So that is probably that's at a sort of startup kind of level, but generally as a business, if we're not listening to our customers, to our audience, then what's the point? We're just sort of speaking into a void. Then it's like nobody cares. If what you've got to say people don't want to listen to, then we might as well close close up shop and go home. So it's important to listen because the people out there are part of why we do what we do, is to meet their needs. So let's understand their needs better and listen more. Okay, mistake number 3, they don't adjust. Now, there's a bit of an overlap with the previous one about listening, but adjusting. So whether or not a business listens to its customers or its audience is one thing. And when I say listen, obviously it's like I hear what you're saying, but are they adjusting for what is being said? Or are they stubbornly going ahead anyway? Because the problem is when we're blinded by what we want to do, we'll find that we start to listen to the things that we want to hear. So we'll find the people who tell us that they like what we're doing. Perhaps much like the whole American Idol type thing, where you've got somebody who goes and auditions and they're awful, but their parents have somehow never told them this. And of course, as a parent, we don't want to tell our children that they're awful, but they've just never had that honest feedback. So they've not adjusted and perhaps got some lessons or whatever it happens to be. And to be honest, in that particular context, sometimes even the parents don't know, because as parents, we often think our kids are the best. And so, we can be blinded as parents. But the whole idea is, if we are listening, we need to adjust when the feedback is going to help us and is going to help our customers. Okay, so mistake number 3 is businesses don't adjust or don't adjust enough. Okay, so the 4th mistake that businesses make is they get defensive. So if you think of what we've spoken about so far, we've got businesses that don't listen, they don't adjust, and getting defensive is dangerous, because you're basically just holding to that position that you believe in, rightly or wrongly. And it's not so much about right or wrong, it's that, if we are listening and if we are adjusting, then we don't need to really defend our position so much. We just need to consider openly, if we want to improve, that we should be moving on. So stop defending our position. If an apology is necessary, apologize, and I mean, like, truly apologize, not the whole, my bad. That's not an apology, really. That is just, the way language evolves, it's kind of like an apology that's not an apology. Truly saying the words, I'm sorry, I made a mistake, I did not mean to hurt you, that sort of thing is very powerful. Okay, so let's not get so defensive, and let's take the steps that are necessary rather than being defensive.